on your dresser. I mean, obviously, you do that. It almost looks backlit. Yeah, it does. You can do the same thing with paintings. Like, the idea here is supposed to make it look like there's a view out the back. This one was probably a bad choice because it's so vibrant that it looks kind of phony. I probably should have picked something a little less vibrant. There's another one upstairs that's even worse, but I really wanted to show off what it could do, what UHT can do in terms of making your house look unique. And I also love this bed. I love this elsewhere bed. It's beautiful. And the curtains add something, I think. Yesterday, before I knew I was going to be streaming today, so I decided to come in here and update all of the little baby statues that they give us. So this should now have all of the little baby statues all stuck in here. And I was actually kind of surprised that they allowed us to have that many different gallery items all in one place, but it does make sense because you keep giving them to us. Don't limit the amount of ones that we can have. I like these bottom flowers because they have such an interesting shape. Okay, let me see. We're going upstairs. I'm not going to show you a lot of my houses today. I'm going to be building somewhat. Here's another window effect, and again, it's probably not a good choice, especially since it's on the second floor and you have a pathway coming out of the second floor, but I don't know what I was going for, but this was really an attempt to see what EHT could do looking more natural than I had done it before. This house was entered into an imperial contest for Divine Design Alliance. So I went and I bought all this imperial furniture and statuary with gold because, you know, forget buying it with crowns if I can afford to avoid it. And so that's why there's statuary on the second floor, because normally I wouldn't do that. Bathtub. Behind the bathtub. Naughty people all looking behind the bathtub. And this is the one I was talking about really being glaringly, obviously, a little too fake looking, but I love that view so much. That's the Gold Coast splash screen. And I think it looks really beautiful out of these windows. And I love how it's almost like a triptych with the 3 different paintings. And since this is an imperial home, Imperials worship, you know, these gods, so I put them all here. And I also put the wisteria, which I think the wisteria elevates like every build. Wisteria is a good bet. The pink flowers here are a good bet. And trees, especially the ginkgo trees, I think make every build slightly better. This is a fake cake. It looks fake, I know, I don't care. So the idea up here was supposed to be basically a nice little serene place to sit and enjoy your meal. Maybe a little boozing, some fruit. Yes, cheese. The nice view of Mara's butt because, you know, Mara. Goddess of a lot of things. It probably should have been Debella. Wait, that is Debella. I'm high. I keep saying Mara. It's Debella. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, folks. I meant Debella. Embarrassing. Yeah. I love these little candles. I don't see a lot of people using them, but I like them. Same with the Kajiti candles here. This is a Nirncrux bowl, and again with the butterfly bush with the flowers, I mean the butterflies coming out of it. So that was my goal, was to show you growth. You know, none of this was here in my first build. My first build was just pink flowers, and, you know, I did the best I could, and you know, I came back so much later to add all of this other stuff. Nightbot hopefully will not kill you now, because I went into, no, I went into the settings. Look at me, knowing how to do settings. and I turned off all of that garbage that it was doing to me. And I apologize for it having done it to me in the past, but it was. Okay, so, yes, you survived. You did. You survived. Let me see if... So today what I'm planning on doing is working on Jayhart's contest for the... you know what? I'm even going to show you what I'm doing. I don't even care because I'm not really competing on a high level here. But at Humble Mud, which is the house I actually bought for this contest because I've always wanted it and I never had an idea for it. So for right now, all Humble Mud is going to be little tiny contest entries, you know, the ones that he's been doing lately, like pumpkin decorating and whatnot. So I did, for my pumpkin entry, because Jayhart has this contest coming up for decorating pumpkins, I did an angel pumpkin. And I'm going to hide my UI again. So this is my angel pumpkin. And very little of this are effects. It's just the halo and the light are effects. Everything else was done by hand. And this was really hard to do, ridiculously enough, because those feathers, the only way you can get feathers are from those dead hanging birds. And so I had to turn them on angles in order to not show the dead bird. But the problem is that they show almost no matter what. So I ended up putting these rocks here as a stand, but really it's to cover the dead birds. And I did what I could, but you can still sort of see them, and it's you know, you can see their little beaks down there. And there's the head of one. Isn't that sick? I tried, man. I tried to cover it all. This is not an easy contest. The eyes are empty spools, and the face is ivory, and that's a cup on the bottom as a little smile face. And then I just thought the harp kind of drove home that it's supposed to be an angel, and then the two things here are almost like Moses, you know, and those stone commandments. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm insane. So that's my entry for that, and I don't care if you guys see it ahead of time. You do what you want to do, and I'm not going to be ashamed at all. So here's what we're working with for the NPC contest. I figured I'd put it in this backyard here. And I don't know how people who don't have an NPC, having a bunch of dead birds buried under the rocks is less cute. Well, you don't see them, right? That's the idea. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to put this on silent so that I'm whatever. So I have Numisma, but a lot of people don't have their own NPC or anything, so I feel sort of sorry for them about that. I want to show you what my original inspiration was for what I was going to do with Numisma. My original idea was stolen from, I think it was actually Swankery. There was a contest where we were supposed to just show our... Is this Swank? No, Lash. It was stolen from Lash, and I'll show it to you real quick. Window capture. I can do this. I've learned this now. Very proud of myself. Okay. Window capture. Here you go. See that? I thought that was so clever. And that was what I was going to use for my contest idea. I was going to take Numisma and take all of those dresses, the upside down Vardenfell things, make them into a big dress so it's like this moving dress, and then just put something stupid on the top. But I ended up not doing that because I tried it out and it just didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work, but I'm glad it didn't work because this way I get to show you people other things that, another idea, and you get to see me actually trying to build it. But that was the initial inspiration for that. But I want to also show you Research Monkey, who's my bud, does some of the funniest work with dead bunnies. And if I was going to turn to anyone for some inspiration for costuming and whatnot, it would probably be Research Monkey. I'm like looking here, trying to find my. I think it's under funny because it obviously is hilarious what he does with bunnies. It's kind of freakish. Yeah, stupid always works. You know, I did a stupid monster. If you didn't, you know, my stupid monster for Divine Design Alliance did not do very well compared to some of the masterpieces, and I'll show you some of them later that there are going on. But this is Research Monkey. Look at this insanity. These are dead bunnies. This is this is lettuce and little pieces of bread, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's fruit on their head, and then he's got all these little band members back here who are doing all this insane stuff. And here's a close up, and you can see the guy with the bass guitar back here, and he made a whole drum set, and it's just, if you want to do a costume, you can't really go wrong with following what Research Monkey essentially does with his bunnies. Let's try to. Oh yeah, no, his stuff is just beyond. And I tell him this. He's just like, he's so good. Is this not adorable? I mean, all the little cups on their heads. I think cups on their heads is probably a really good idea. I mean, just all this detail work. I'm so jealous of it. Somebody made a pineapple here, so I'm just gonna close out on the pineapple. So those are all some really good inspirations for what you're gonna do. I brought some stuff over here. I don't know if people are even interested in seeing me build right now, because it's like, building can be very tedious. And what I want to do more than anything is I'll show you, if I can get my UI to properly act up here. Okay, UI, right. All right, what I'm going to do is show you some things to do with EHT and how to do them so that you don't, so it's not a complete mystery. The easiest things to do with EHT, and you'll see this here, once you get it installed, you have this little icon in this side. The easiest thing to do is see this with the little wand? You click on it, Essential Effects, and up pops all these different things that you can do. Don't look at actions yet. That looks complicated, and I haven't really gotten to explore it yet. But what you'll see is, once you mouse over one of the effects, it'll preview it. You don't even have to put it in without. Sometimes they get stuck, so I'll move out of the way so you can see them better. Here's what I was talking about with the falling leaves. You got to give the things that fall a couple of seconds because it takes time for them to start falling, but this is so easy to do. You literally just click a button and there it is. It's placed. That's it. It's there. You don't have to, I mean, people say EHT is so hard. That is not hard. You just click a button. And even better, once it's clicked, you can change the colors. What if you want pink leaves because you're insane? You can have pink leaves if it starts, see, they started falling pink. You can have white leaves if you're nuts. Whatever works for you. I do have in my, it must be well placed, but not the weather things like this. These do not need to be well placed. These you can get away with not having them be up against a wall or anything because they actually do look natural no matter what you do. I will show you one that does need to be well placed. Excuse me, this is the wrong one. Let me give you one that should be well placed. Decorative is usually a good place. I haven't looked at these yet, so I don't want to go into them yet and then confuse you. All right, here's one. I showed you this one in another house. But here is the anniversary cake, 2009, right? It's a beautiful cake, and I really wish they had given it to us properly. But this is, it's like I said, you place it by just pressing the button, and then you can select it. Did I put a Daedric bow in here somehow? I think I put a Daedric bow in here by accident, but whatever. So you could easily select it, and then, you know, if you were weird, you could change the colors. You could do that with almost every effect. You can just mess with the colors, and then if you want to set it back to what it was, you just click in the middle and it goes back to what it was. In terms of, you can see it's not sitting there properly, so you would hit height and you could adjust the height. If you want to get more particular about moving it, you can control click and you'll see it'll move it in smaller bits. You shift click and it moves it in bigger bits, and then alt, I'll go up so you can see it. It does tremendously big movements, right? So that's how you do that. And then bring it back down. I probably should go shift so that I can bring it down within. Okay, so there you go. That's how you place them. Now, oh, I did put a bow in there. I don't even remember putting the bow in there. That's a Daedric bow. Delete. All right, that's how simple it is to delete too. Now, what you can do is you can actually drag and drop things. I rarely use this because I find that it is sometimes tricky. Hello, who's bowl? Oh, bow. Yeah, the bow. So I found that it's a little too tricky for me sometimes to drag and drop. So I like to use the keys and just, you know, this way, this way, this way, this way, you know, whatever. The problem with the FX generally is that they're flat. So anybody who wanted to walk around the effect would totally see, sorry about the light of Meridia, I'll get rid of it in a little bit. Totally see that it's flat, right? Not good. No bueno. So generally what I do is I try to put them up against walls. So that way no one, I don't know why I keep going into the wrong part. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. Oh, see I have two effects in here, the placed. I have one that's 25 meters away and one that's 10 meters away. Well, I know that the one that's 25 meters away is the one that's in the house, and that's the one I want there. So the one that's closer, 12.5, is this one. I hope. What did I just delete? I deleted something else. Okay, so I got rid of that. Oh, I got rid of the, let me show you how to undo. Okay, there are two different undos. This is undo in, hi Xanasis. This is undo in the game, which you can bind, but I go into housing tools, which is the second one. That's the one with these little tools, and go into undo and then hit undo. See, it puts back the light of Meridia, and then you hit undo again and it'll put back my halo inside that I accidentally got rid of. And so you could use either, but because Essential Housing Tools is not part of the base game, I'm afraid that if I used this undo, it wouldn't undo removal of EHT effects. Just a fear of mine. I have not substantiated it yet. All right, let me close out build so you don't get freaked out yet. All right, and let me try to get rid of the closer light of Meridia again. It's really simple once you get to using it. I mean, I'm telling you, the FX is just the simplest thing you can possibly do, and people are afraid of them, and don't be, because that's how you should start. You absolutely should start with the FX because it's simple, easy peasy. You press a button, move them around, change the colors, everything about it is really simple. What I did here is, I'm going to show you real quick how one of the neat things I love about EHT, a couple of neat things. Conservatory, all right? So I have some plants in here that I wanted to use as part of the costume. So what I did is, you know, you hit F5, you go into the regular housing, and if you want to put them away, look on the bottom where it says right-click an item to put it away immediately. That is EHT. You can't normally do that. Normally you have to hit select the item, then you have to put R, put away, right? This way, look how fast this goes. I can put these all away by just right-clicking them. It's an amazing quality of life kind of thing. I have 99 of these flowers, these coda flowers in here. There is no way that I want to sit there and hit recall 99 times. So I'll show you what I do. This is probably a little complex, but I need to get there to show you some other things. This is the build section again. This is the tools. You want to go in here if you're doing what I want to do. Now, I want to, there's all these different selection modes, but here I want to go with all items same as target. So I want all of these flowers to be selected in the entire house, okay? Yeah, well, this is how you do it, if you can. First of all, you have to set your binds. I don't know if you guys know how, but go into controls and key bindings. You scroll down and then you can set binds not only for the game, but also for your add-ons. So Essential Housing Tools, see, has some. It actually has two parts, and I'm not really sure why, but you go down to the second one here. And it might even, look at this, it has even more than that. I don't know why it has so many. But this, what I use for select is this backslash. So you have to set it. If you don't set it, there is none. So make sure you have the housing editing section, you know, F5 is on. Then to select items, you click your hotkey, and there you go. It selected 98 items. Boom, right? You could then, if you wanted to, use any of these different options down here. So you could sort them by name, you could toggle them on and off, you can put them in different orientations, you can, these are all fun things you can do, and I will show you some of them in time, but I want to try remove items. So click the 98 selected items, removing those items to your inventory. That's exactly what I want. So instead of having to click 98 times, now I've clicked, what, couple three, as they say in Wisconsin, and couple 3 times, and it's pulling them all in. And I can just sit here and be lazy while it's doing it for me. So, I mean, quality of life right there, right? Otherwise, you couldn't do that. Otherwise, you'd be sitting there clicking E every single time. So use this if you want to remove things. And then I'm going to show you this really simple way of doing the opposite, which is placing them. Let's say you have a storage house and you really don't care about where it's going to put your storage items, which I have a storage house, which I will show you at some point because I use it to play with things. All right, so here you get out of build mode, go into your inventory, see this? Here's the 11 ferns I picked up. Right click, place these 11 items. There it goes. Puts them all down for you. You don't have to sit there and go click, 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 click. And it's especially good when you're dealing with hundreds of items. Now, you have to not care about where they go, because sometimes I can't find them after I put them down. Oh, I guess they went into the ground. There is a way around that. You can always just bring them to you afterwards, but honestly, I don't care, because all I'm going to do is open this up and then hit retrieve and then go to conservatory and boom, 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 boom. They're all in my inventory again. Super easy. Take easy. I'm glad I'm able to show you at least some of these things. Sorry about my incessant checking of my sales. I don't know why I have that problem, but I do. All right, so what I want to show you is probably better shown in a different house. I will go to my obscene storage house. I used Grand Topol as my storage house because I haven't had a really good idea about what to do with it yet. And I apologize for the boring this morning. I promised people, especially J Hart, I promised that I was going to show people how the process of building actually happens, not just showing you pictures of, you know, pretty things and whatnot. And I can show you pretty things if you guys would rather just look at houses than see me building, but I figure at least a little bit of showing you what I'm talking. It's not working. There was one other house I was going to show you. Oh, I'll show you my snug pod, and then we'll start looking at other people's houses. Snug pod was my entry into the treasure contest, the one that J Hart held recently about building a treasure, and this one actually won for once. You know, I'm talking about all these houses that I do that don't win. This one actually won. And this one shows you a few elements of what I was talking about things that you can include that really help your builds. Now, the biggest problem that I saw with this treasure contest was that anywhere you're going to put treasure is essentially going to be on the floor. I'm going to turn off EHD for this for a minute. And so you'd just be looking down. And that's not an interesting way to look at things. So I thought, I have to build up somehow. I have to bring the eye up. And the way that I thought of doing that was with sintered rock. Because sintered rock is interesting to look at. It's got texture to it. It's got interesting shapes. It's something that draws your eyes upward because it starts out fat and it goes skinny. So I bought some of that cheap sintered rock and I popped it in here. And then colors that go really well with gold, which is what obviously I'm doing is gold, is red. So I put a red carpet down and I found red ivy from elsewhere and I just plastered the walls with the red so that the golds would stand out more. And like I said to you from yesterday or 2 days ago was I like putting a waterfall in almost every build. It brings things to life. It brings it a little bit of movement. It brings it a little bit of just pretty. You know, it's just pretty. And that's, I put the dragon in because this is supposed to be a baby dragon's hoard. And so here you go. I ended up putting in all of the gold things that I had, including some plants. I don't know why I put that in there, but it looks okay. Drink bottles, you know. It didn't have to necessarily be something worth $1 million if it has a little bit of gold and red on it, or just gold. Oh yeah, you see my little guar stick? I love that little guar stick. He's so cute. So yeah, I mean, the color, as long as I had some gold in it, I thought it would really bring things out. I put a lot of lights in here because otherwise things don't glint as much. It isn't as sparkly. And the idea was to keep things sparkly. Now, here's a tip for you. These you can get from the Thieves Guild. They're not very expensive, but these are you know, these little, oh, look at that. I could have used the empty bottoms as stairs for my other house, right? They didn't even bother to do the bottoms. Ridiculous. This is actually pretty handy. Also, I could see another way of using this. If you flip it upside down, instead of being a huge pile, it's just a couple of little piles. You could use it to be a different kind of decoration. This is what I'm talking about. Flip things upside down. Look at them from different angles. See how you can use things in a creative way. But what I was trying to show you is that if you pick it up, you can see I buried some things in there. And it actually really works. You know, like you don't have to worry about making things perfect, because if you drop them in here and you do it a little unevenly, it looks like it has some coins in there. It looks like it has coins in there. And you put things on angles, you make it look like somebody just dropped their treasure right down into a pile. And that's what I went for. And I think this was one of my most successful builds because I took a lot of things that I learned from other people, and those are the things I'm trying to tell you now, which is movement. Include movement. Movement is helpful. So this guy is gold. He draws the eye because he's moving. The waterfalls are always a good movement. The light flickering is movement in a way, and it makes the light move over the different items too. So things glimmer a little more, and that works. Um, colors, pay attention to your colors so that you have offsetting colors or complementary colors, or just don't just throw things up there. Just pay attention to the color. Pay attention to how colors work together. And also, the centered rock is always a good go-to if you want to make something that's otherwise boring looking look interesting. And that's what I went with. And this one won. And to be honest with you, I wasn't terribly surprised it won. Not because it was the best, but because I incorporated so much that I learned from other people, including, I should say, also using incense. That smoke was moving. Moving smoke is a helpful tool. So what I think we should do today is we should look at an open house. Let's pick a random open house. And I'm going to try to keep these shorter because I spend so much time babbling at you guys, and I feel bad that you end up watching so much. And I'm trying to be more on a schedule. I don't mean to be abusive with, with my streaming. But the problem is I enjoy so much talking to you guys. Even if you're watching later, it's nice to know that someone cares and somebody is interested in housing the way I am. I was talking to Research Monkey the other day. Thank you, Flimmy. You know I love you. I was talking to Research. Oh, a Halloween house. I was talking to Research Monkey the other day, and I was saying, we were talking about the DDA houses, the monster contest, and we were discussing how well some of them worked. And we were speaking the same language, and it felt really good because it was like, wow, I can talk to somebody who gets me. I can understand. I can say to this person, look at these clean lines, look at this, look at the way that they did the lightings to pay. I'll show you what I'm talking about with the clean lines and everything else. And it's really, I mean, your mouth is going to drop open, which I say a lot, but it's true. So this is, oh, I turned off, I don't mean to turn off no, I don't want to travel to your other place. I want to sign your guest journal. No, just don't send me to your other place. Just want to sign your stupid guest journal. Being stupid. Okay. Why are you not showing me the guest journal? There it is. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. This is my cat. This is Grant. I don't know if you can see him, but he was standing in front of the camera for a minute. Grant is my cat who's dying, so I'm kind of trying to not mush him out of the way because I don't know how much longer he has to be with me, and I love him very much, and he's my baby boy. And so if you see a cat just wandering in front of you, apologies. Just ignore it. All right, so I'm signing in the guest journal so that people know that they are loved. I see I keep getting knocked into a weird mode here, but I see that person wants me to go visit their Telgallion, but because that's a portal. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you do have essential housing tools, sometimes it can be really annoying that you stand there and suddenly it starts porting you somewhere else, and it's like, I don't want to be ported somewhere else. Well, there's a setting that will ask you, you have to confirm if you want to go to their other house. So go into your EHT settings and set that so that you don't automatically get ported, and it saves a lot of not heartache, but annoyance. I will, oh Lord. Okay, that's kind of twisted, don't you think? Hanging, well, they're kind of dead already, but still, that's kind of twisted. Um, twisted Halloween houses, I guess, are the standard. I don't know. It kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know about you, but this is interesting. I would not have thought to put these Daedric chains in front of a window, or a door rather, but it works. And these are fairly cheap usually. Although for Halloween, I think that they're kind of becoming more expensive. So hopefully you have some stored up. If you don't, you may want to splurge a little. Here's the library from the Daedric set that they recently had. I don't know if it's still up. Wow, this is dark. I don't know about you folks, but this is pretty dark for me. But it's good that I'm showing you a Halloween house, because I think a lot of you are in need of, you've been asking for inspiration with regards. I'm trying to see you guys and what you're saying, but my cat is literally standing in front of it. Okay. He's such a butthead. Here's the dark tendrils that I showed you earlier. Okay, hold on. But the way these soul-shriven druids move really gives that hanged effect. Yeah, it's a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing, especially if, like, maybe you've been traumatized with something in that in the past. But that goes par for the course with Halloween houses, right? You got to expect that anything could try to kind of mess you up, because they're scary on purpose. This is interesting. Can I break you? I can break you. Oh, that's kind of a good idea. That is a good idea, to have the fire inside of it, which, I mean, obviously. Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm trying to fix your ball here. Now my cat has now sat completely on my mouse pad. And I should just poke him away, but I won't, because... No! I do not want to go to your other house. Let me look at this house. Stop asking. Is there... Oh, he closed off the going upstairs. Okay. Well, that's good, because that keeps this a little more clear about where he wants you to go. Close off wherever you don't want people to go. Where is this? I think that's also part of that set, the Cold Harbor set recently. And I don't know which vines he used, but he used some vines to cover everything up. Or those have to be vines. Those aren't just trees. I think those are vines, which is a good way of covering everything up. And here's Molag Bal being Molag Bali. He's a scary dude. And then this is the Moon Temple pad, which just has that eerie look anyway. That blood is just so red. It's really creepy out in the light. So we have explored a house together. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the new tattoos we got glow based on how many dragons you've killed. But look at it. Doesn't it look kind of pixelated around the glow? So it almost looks like I have vitiligo, which I actually do in real life, and cover up as best I can. So I almost don't want to wear them, because it's like, stop reminding me of real life, where my skin loses all of its tone. I have other houses that I haven't shown you yet, and that's okay, because I want to spend some time looking at other people's houses, because I think it's better. Hey, Genesia, let me see if I have any homes from you folks that you will allow me to look at. And if not, I'm going to avoid some of them, because I don't want to mess up things. Okay, Genesia, you're psijic. I hope you don't mind. I'm also stabbing. That's okay too. I hope you haven't changed it, honey. I'm going to your psijic. If I could spell your name, which I should be able to because you're right there. But I'm an idiot. Grand psijic. All right. I'm going to show you guys the Genesia's Grand psijic because she's talented. She, he. I hope I'm not assuming gender improperly, but the name seemed she-like to me. Yeah. Well, I was going to show you Swankery's contest entry, but I think I'll skip that one and I'll just show you Wendy Goles's DDA entry for because that one I have more technical things to say. And maybe okay, I was right. And maybe also I will show you a Gender Fox's because a Gender Fox did something that was more of a statement than a build. And I thought that was fascinating. I think she may have maybe intentionally threw the contest for herself, but okay. This is what I do appreciate that you put the flowers up against something else, but I think that's also an effect, isn't it? Yeah, that's why it's flickering. Best thing you can do is just, suck it up at this point because layering is so hard. I'm hoping that Cardi comes with a solution to it, but I will show you later. There's actually a place in Rothgar in the actual game that does this, that flickers out like this, because it isn't just Cardi's program. It's actually the base game that does the flickering. It's just the way that it layers and whatnot. Now, I wrote down that this house was, where is it? Great FX. I thought you had, obviously I thought it was good in general. Sorry about the cat. He's so spoiled, but he's my baby. I've had him only for 4 years, and he's, no, it's fine. Girl, if you saw some of my, I got rid of it because I was so embarrassed, but my Candyland house was just flickering in and out the whole time. It was just, you couldn't not have it flicker. I don't remember where everything all is, so I'm just going to wander around and talk to you guys while we do it. I like that you did this. I like the plants growing in it. I haven't seen too many people actually put anything other than like lilies or wedding flowers, but you actually made it look like it's real, I like that. Rose garden, rose bush. I was showing you those guys earlier. But yeah, I think that she possibly threw a Gender Fox, I think, intentionally threw the contest a little bit because she made it less about the build and more about the statement. And the statement was so powerful. And somebody mentioned to me, like, I don't know, it wasn't really much of a build. Oh, I like this. Good use of the item and the effect together, and it's kind of subtle. I like that. But I think she did something amazing because I felt like, sometimes you want to make a statement, and that statement requires a bit of a sacrifice, and she did it well. And I don't think she could have done both a statement and an amazing build. It was an amazing build, but it wasn't like technically amazing because, and this sounds like an insult, but I'm so not. It's the exact opposite. Like, I think she did a bit, suits optional. Hey, baby, do you RP, Genesia? You need a griffin down here. Suits optional. This is really nice. I like this. I don't know that I found this the first time. I need a pool like this in real life. I totally do. But I live in friggin' Wisconsin. Oh, is that a snake? Or a sea creature? Huh. Never caught that. Yeah, I live in Wisconsin and it sucks. And I don't want to live in Wisconsin, but I do. Because, life choices. Maybe not the best life choices. I'll get back to a Gender Fox when I go to her house, and I'll show you what I mean. It was very powerful, and he was super impressed with it. And this is what I mean about, like, people aren't going to be mean to you. I find something interesting in everything I look at, even if it's not what you might expect. Um, Vivek is such a complicated character. There's a lot to him, good and bad, and I think it's interesting to think about. All right, so here we are. We're inside, and I like that you use the Hakoshe lanterns up there. Those are beautiful. I want to have like endless Hakoshe lanterns, but they're costly, so I just use the EHT ones. I like the minimalist, but the you know, you did what I was talking about with drawing the eye up. The tall bamboo really does draw the eye up from the ground, and I think it really works. Because otherwise you just end up very often walking around houses just looking down and not really seeing whereas this house has a lot to look at up above. So try to look up, because sometimes people don't know how to draw the eye up, and you may be missing something. My kitty cat over here. So this is a bedroom. I'm wondering if you closed off the back bedrooms because of it. A sea grape plant tree. Sea grape tree. I didn't know they come in this size. This must be a sapling. I also like hanging lamps. Hanging lamps are always good. Ivy. You ever not know what to do with a wall? Slap some ivy on it. Really can't go wrong. That's what I do. Okay, so this is one of those EHT floors that I adore. This floor looks better than almost every other floor that you can do in EHT, and I really dig it. It's such a rich butterscotch colored, isn't it? It seems to work everywhere it goes. And then here are those EHT or are those? Yeah, those are EHT. See, I couldn't even tell. I couldn't tell if those were the candle flies or if those were EHT because they're identical. I really want Cardi to tell us if he's the one who came up with those, because if he is, I want to thank him. Because, I mean, it's nice that they're including it in the base game. But, you know, in reality, I'll probably always use the fairy dust because I love it and because you can change the color of it. But I'm really curious. There you go with the drawing the eye up again. I love it. Oh, the parquet. Man, you know, I get so excited about this stuff. I'm such a dork. I get all excited. I'm like, oh, she used parquet. It looks so good. It does. I love it. You know, you made it look different. It's different from every other, you know, psijic out there. It looks good. I have not seen anyone use this way. That's interesting. I wonder if you could put a piece of art in the middle. Although you've kind of made the background, the design there, the art. But you could also put something else in between and like kind of be highlighting it. But I do like that you off-centered it like this because it's an interesting, different kind of look. Very good. You know, I'm trying to focus less on where everything came from and also focus a little bit more on technique and also on the way of thinking when you're building, you know, because that's not always obvious. This is, I loved this. I took a screenshot of this. I have not seen anyone else do this. This is that screen door in EHT, and it's really just one of these panels. And what you've done here is you've angled them to make it look like one of those extendy things, the extended panels with 4 panels, and it's beautiful. These are these. Now, I've been told in the past that Asian is for people and Oriental is for items, so I'm going to use the word Oriental, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like an Oriental style screen. And, I mean, it is to begin with, but by adding the extra panels to it, it's beautiful. I think it really, I think this was a stroke of genius, you know? I noticed it, I took a screenshot of it, and then this probably was when I added you to my list of favorites because I thought it was so ingenious. You've got good ideas. And here we go is the bathroom. Oh, fake water. I like it. I like it. It's cute. I love the fake water effects in this game that Cardi added because honestly, like, there's so many times where I want water and things, and there just isn't any, and that sucks. I also like that you used the alcoves for something. A lot of people leave them blank. The little guys look good in there. I did you add that or is that part of that one? That must be part of that one. I didn't realize it had brass on it. Interesting. I've also seen people take the Kin Lord and the Orator and the woman, the Kin, whatever her name is, Kin Woman, and put them in there, and they actually fit perfectly. It's almost like they were intended to be in there. I think I went in that left room. If I didn't, tell me. Okay, and so here we are in the back. Oh, yes, now I remember. The coloring. So this is beautiful. This is kelp in the background with the screen in front of it, and you layered it beautifully because, look, no flickering, which is really hard to do. It takes a lot of fiddling to make sure that it doesn't flicker like that. And I think it's just like almost like beautiful stained glass with an aquarium behind it, almost like you're in Zanmir, but it's not Zanmir. And then, oh, that must be the effect candle too. No, those are real. Okay. There is an effect candle, but I like what you did with the real candles too. All right, so we have multiple lights of Meridia, I think. And then these beautiful Luxfender plants. And these are from, well, these anyway, are from elsewhere. Yes, I believe it was hard. In some game, there was an Asian boy, and someone called him an Oriental beauty, and he got stuck for the sake of a lot of giggles. Well, yeah, but I don't think that's, like, isn't it the other way around? Like, he's not an item, he's a person. No, I hadn't noticed that either. Does that normally have that moss on it? What tree is that? I don't recall a tree with that color moss on it. It's beautiful. Really smart use because your green theme in here really works. And that kind of carries it over to another green, you know? And then you mixed in some red too, which is really nice. I'm a fan. Okay, and so this is one of my favorites. This oh, forget what it's called. It's not really wallpaper. It's like a relief. Oh, it came with it? I don't know what tree that is, but it's nice. This is one of those reliefs that Chrysia had added into the game, and from EHT rather. And I have found it very difficult to find a place to use it well, but I think you did. It looks like it's part of the house. It looks like it belongs, and I'm a real fan. I think it looks really good. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Oh, I was going to show you the entry for Wendigos. This is worth seeing. It's probably going to win. It's either going to be this one or probably Swankery that's going to win, but there were some really good almost rounds. Like, I think Galileo did something amazing. Gecko did something amazing. That one might actually win. Wednesday morning. There were a whole lot of people who did tremendously gorgeous things, but I think it was a Gender Fox who did this. I wanted to tell you about Gender Fox, and then we'll go to Wendigos. Now, the theme of this was monsters. We were supposed to build monsters. And I'm raving about this one because it was so unexpected. I kept, everybody else did, like, I call them anus monsters because they looked like anus monsters. Or, they did other kinds of monsters, But what she did was so kind of deep. I kind of dig it. You see Vivek, and at first I was like, okay, so where's the monster, right? This is just Vivek. Why is it doing this to me? It is being stupid. Okay, there we go. At first, who is this? Who are you? You're going away from me. I can't tell who you are. Why do I keep having these problems? My thing. Oh, ladybug. Hello, ladybug. All right. So at first I thought this was the monster. Like, where's the monster? But then I realized what was really going on here. Okay, check it out. This is Vivek, and he has got obviously magic in each of his hands. He's got wedding flowers, but around Vardenfell, because this is the map of Vardenfell. And then you have Sheo, and you have oh my lord, his name has just Clavicus Vile. Now I don't know about why Clavicus Vile is there, but I know why Sheo is there. I don't know if you know the story behind this giant rock, but that is the rock that is hanging over. It's meant to be the rock that is hanging over Vivek City, if you've ever seen it. The story behind this rock was that it was thrown, I think, by Molag Bal at Vivek City. And what Sheo did is, I think, no, Sheo threw it. My apologies. Sheo threw that giant rock at Vivek City. And as you know, Vivek is the one who is holding it up there. He's the one who's keeping it in place. The baby moonlight, yeah. He's the one who's keeping it in place. He's keeping it from hitting Vivek City. But here's the real reality of why he is the monster, not Sheo. That Vivek City was gone. Vivek City was either previously destroyed or it wasn't there or something like that. I forget what it was. But if you go to Vivek City now, you can see that it is in progress. It's in progress right now, being rebuilt or built. I forget which. He's rebuilding it under this baby moonlit, which is threatening to come down, and he is the only reason why it isn't coming down and destroying the city. What kind of monster of a god builds a city under something that could be destroyed at any second should he not be there to hold it up and save everyone? What kind of power is that you're expending over all of those people? It's the power of life and death. You displease God, you try to get rid of God, that rock comes down and destroys the city and you're dead and everyone you love. And there's so much trust and blind love in him that they're okay with it. And they feel a sort of appreciation for him having kept it from hitting them, but they're missing the greater point that, you know, if he was a truly good God, if he was a truly good person, he would have had the city built elsewhere, not under the stupid rock, you know? So he is the monster. And I think that is so deep and such a statement, and people might miss that. They may look at this and go, this isn't much of a build. Well, it may not be, like, technically much of a build, but it's one hell of a punch to the face in terms of, hello, your rod's shut, and thanks for following, and I'm sorry I missed it. It was 20 minutes ago because I'm so clueless. But this is a punch to the gut in terms of lore. What she's trying to say about the lore is just really deep. And I appreciate statements. I appreciate the deep statements that make you think. And that one really made me think, because it took a minute to even get, well, where's the monster? Oh, that's who it is. All right. So the next one that I wanted to show you was Wendy Goals. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. Wendy Goals did something that was, on the other hand, an amazing technical feat. It was not as much of a statement, but it was beautiful. It was technically gorgeous. It was accurate. It's pretty amazing. And I'm sure that J Hart's going to go through all of these. That's why I'm not showing them. City was already there. Sheogorath threw the rock at it. Yes, but if you notice, Mongol, he's rebuilding the city in the same place it was. What kind of god does that? He could have put it somewhere else. He's rebuilding it. Why leave it there under the rock? Like, to me that seems like monstrous. And I think that's what she was going for. So Wendy goals. Check this out. It is a dragon. Look at that beauty. That is just beautiful. And when you get close to it, you see even more what beauty is going on. It's almost, no, that we're in the past. The city is never destroyed in the ESO era. No, I know, but why are they building it at the moment that we're seeing? Go to Vivek City now and you'll see it's under construction. There's an entire canton that's just not even finished in the front. And then in the left of the, I want to say the mages on the whatever side, there's one that's in middle of building. And actually it's part of even the quest with Vivek when he's dying, that you have to go into the construction area and get something from one of the construction people. So it's definitely under construction. And that shouldn't really be happening if he was not a jerk face. Jerk face, you know, that's my language for you, my amazing vocabulary. A huge meteor is not really a reason to move the build somewhere else. No? You don't think so? I mean, it almost came down and killed them during the quest. You would think that it might be wise to move it elsewhere. Or move the rock, you know, elsewhere. Or something. Just saying. Because I kind of think that they should, as long as Vivek can hold it up, it's okay. No, that's the point. That is the point she's making. I think that what kind of power is he holding over the people that they have to respect? They have to worship him. They have to be his devout worshipers, or what? He could let that rock go at any time. He's got complete control over them. It's okay, sure, they'll be fine as long as he can hold it up. But what if he chooses not to be? What if he chooses not to hold it up? What kind of power do they have to accede to him to keep him happy? I know I wouldn't want you to have any of my political leaders having a giant rock over my head right now. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And he's sort of a political leader. He's worse than that because he's also a religious leader. And I don't hate Vivek. It's not what I'm saying. He's just complex. There's more to him. You know what I mean? Okay, so here is, I think it's a dragon. That's interesting. I didn't notice the tongue before. I don't even know what that's from. But it's a really cool done. And like the cages have stuff in them. There's those dead bodies, some fire, and I think Ferrari. Oh, another person dying in there. I think Ferrari's hiding in one of them. But I can't quite. I guess it's showing the belly of what the dragon ate as it's going through and killing things. But obviously, this builder used some amazing coral. And then just, you know, somebody was telling me what precision it looks like they built with, you know? I mean, these wavy things are just make it look like it's all one piece. It's needed because the city got destroyed in another game, and otherwise that would mean that history would not exist. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you on in terms of lore consistency. All I'm saying is he is a monster. On some level, he's a monster. And I think her build states that. And he may also be more of a hero and more of a good god than he is a monster, but he's a little bit of both. Don't forget, he had a sexual relationship with Molag Bal. How good can you possibly be if you're having a sexual relationship with Molag Bal, honestly? There you go. Yeah, so this dragon is amazing. Yes, I'm agreeing with you, Volgo. I think all of them are dual in that sense. Yeah, so I love this. This is beautiful, and I think it's going to win. Um, but there are other builds that were also really amazing, and I don't want to steal J Heart's thunder, but you know, some of them I really want you to see what I'm talking about in terms of absolutely beautiful builds. Let me check something. Gives them a human feel. Yeah, I like that about, I really dig that about ESO. Oh, that one mistake, yeah. Having a sexual relationship with, you know, the god of destruction and torture. Just a mistake. Not exactly, buddy. Not exactly. A little bit more than a mistake. Where's Gecko? I'm going to show you Gecko's because Gecko's was also really good. And I'm not going to show you the other Swankree, even though it's fabulous, because it's one that I think that I've shown you 3 of her houses already, and also because I know J Heart's going to spend a lot of time on it and gush over it the way that I would. So I think you're gonna see it anyway, as long as you watch him. This is Gecko 69's house, and keep that name in mind when you look at the build, and you'll understand what I'm getting at. And then I'm probably gonna wrap it up because I've been doing these 2-hour streams, and I don't feel like anybody's benefits by me doing a 2-hour stream. Plus, I can't build today. I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with EHT, and then I'll see about building. But so when I first landed here, I'm like, look at this creepy little monster. Okay, this is just creepy looking. This is not what it looks like. Wait till you get up top where you're supposed to see it from. It looks less like a dragony monster and more like a gecko. You see it? It took me a minute. But those arms, and then the body, and then the tail is kind of long. Maybe it's not a gecko. Maybe it is a dragon. I don't know. But to me, I saw a gecko because of the hands. I could be wrong. This could just be a dragon. What do you guys think? You think it's a gecko or a dragon? Could be a mix. The smoke coming out kind of makes it more seem like a dragon than a gecko, but the hands are very gecko-like, I think. But yeah, so I thought this one was really cool too. I thought it was neat. I think what I'll finish up on is showing you my my interior of my Forsaken, because I showed you the outside last couple episodes ago, and I never showed